Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now, I don't really know where to start with this video, so I'm just going to do my normal Speno waffling and see where we go. I think it's because I've just been a little bit overexcited about this, and I was going to try and keep this to sort of 15 minutes to bring it to Instagram as well, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think this is going to be one of those beers I'm going to just waffle on about beyond the 15 minutes. So bear with. Here it comes. So today you'll notice I am wearing my Tynt meadow, or however you want to pronounce it. I hear a lot of people say Tynt meadow, Taunt meadow cap. I've had this a while. I had this the last time I went to the monastery. Oh, I should have took the card out because I'm really rubbish at here we go. You're just seeing the Spencer arms there. I'm not editing that out. I really am not. Well, I probably will do. So I've been here today. Mount St Bernard Abbey, Colville in Leicestershire. The only UK Trappist brewery. Number one in the UK. That's it. There's just one in the UK. Now, as of 2024, now this is the thing. In a Google search, and I've asked several people questions and I've had different answers. I was told 9 the other day, 13 from various sources. But anyway, I think from doing a little bit of research, please tell me if I'm wrong, but as of 2024, there are only 10 official Trappist breweries in the world. Okay, and one of them is Tynt Meadow, Taunt Meadow here, and this is the only one, the only Trappist brewery in the UK. What a claim that is. So today, I went there today and got myself a nice bag in their new brewery shop there, and I got myself a nice little gift in the bag. It was a click and collect, so basically it was a pre-order. Just feast your eyes on this. Taunt Meadow, Le Trappe, Taunt Meadow, Le Trappe, and Zundert. Trappist brewers. I think Zundert and Le Trappe are in the Netherlands. I don't claim to know the information. I've been researching information. I know that Taunt Meadows in Colville in Leicestershire. I looked in the fridge. I've actually got a beer from Le Trappe. I haven't got one from Zundert, unfortunately. But I now have one from the three breweries coming together. So before I get this out of the box, this is a Dubbel, spelled D-U-B-B-E-L, right? So the term Dubbel, also double, is a Belgian Trappist beer naming conversion. The original Dubbel, however you want to say it, was a stronger version of a brown beer brewed in Westmoor Abbey in 1856. So basically, it's a strong brown beer originating from Belgium Trappist breweries, around about 6 to 8%, and that is what they have brewed here as this collaboration called Three Rules. Now, why is it called Three Rules? Now, I have got some information here, and I'm going to sort of read it to you. So, the 3 rules of authentic Trappist. It is on the box here. This is a very sort of like nervous. I'm not even going to call this a review. This isn't a review. How can you review this? How can I can't possibly review this. What this is sharing my experience with you video. So rule number 1 there. Rule number 1 is Trappist beer is brewed within Abbey walls. Rule number 2. Production takes place under the supervision of the monks. Rule number 3. Part of the proceeds go to charity. So, yeah, there it is. There's plenty of information you can find there. Now, I've read all the tasting notes and everything, right? So a special collaboration that brings a tribute to the centuries-old Trappist tradition. Trappist Brewery, Le Tap, Tynt Meadow, and Zerbert proudly present an extraordinary new beer. 3 rules of authentic Trappist. In the deepest secrecy, the 3 Trappist abbeys worked together on the brewing process from which a distinctive Dubbel has emerged. 3 rules of authentic Trappist is a tribute to the 3 authentic rules, which I've just read out to you, which the Trappists live. Part of the proceeds of the new beer will benefit trees for all. I think they're planting 14,000 trees, I've read. So the tasting notes are sweet caramel, toasted malt with a hint of peat. It says here, the 3 rules of authentic Trappist is a full-bodied, perfectly balanced Dubbel. The beer is characterized by a full layered taste of sweet caramel, toasted malt, and a hint of peat, combined with subtle spicy and hoppy notes. So whether or not the peat is going to give like a smoky, because peat in itself, they do a lot of, you can get smoked beer that's smoked with peat or whiskey, I think. It says spicy and hoppy notes. This leads to an unparalleled taste experience with every sip. Well, I don't. You fast forward this or whatever. So this was £25 for the bottle. Let's get the bottle out of this beautiful box. I'm being careful how I open this box. I've already took it out. Now this is cork and caged. Oh, I mean, just before we even start, it's a 750 milliliter bottle, coming in at 7.4% ABV. A Dubbel Special Edition. I mean, is this a bottle to keep in your pub shed on your shelf when you finish drinking it? I mean, I've got a right tickly nose. Excuse me. Oh my word. Becoming a Trappist takes a certain special something. This masterpiece, brewed by Le Tap, Tynt Meadow, and Zumbert, pays homage to the 3 rules of authenticity that distinguishes a Trappist beer from conventional abbey beers. These rules not only form the foundation of our beer, they are the very cornerstone of our existence. Then it goes on to show you the 3 rules there. I mean, the bottle shines. It's absolutely beautiful. The decal on the bottle is just wonderful. I mean, just honestly, it is a lot of reflection there, but wow. So now I have had a look online, and Rainville Stores is the first one that come up. You can get this from Rainville Stores for £14, the bottle alone. But with this beer from Tynt Meadow, you got a glass in with the price as well. So there's this beautiful Tynt Meadow glass, and it's also got like engraved, like embossed there. It says Tynt Meadow Trappist. So this is the glass I'm going to be getting the beer out of. Right, okay. Alexa just, sorry, I said her name. Just popping up there, telling me I've got a notification, which was a very exciting delivery today, but they didn't deliver it because nobody was in, because I was over Tynt Meadow getting this beer. So there goes the cage off there. I'm going to keep that because it's going to go back on. So I'm not sure whether I am going to be the first YouTuber to bring this to you. And I'm going to dedicate, oh my God, was it Rob? I think he's now. I'm going to dedicate this to Rob. A guy, we went to a place afterwards called Rock Cafe Bar. And there was a guy in there that I had my Spencer Arms top on. And he came over to me and he said, oh, hello. He said, like, I watch your YouTube channel. You're the YouTuber, aren't you? I watch your YouTube channel. See what this does. Oh, look at that. Ooh, smoking. So the cork, nothing on the cork at all, just a little stamp there. Right, let's get this. Oh, big, heavy 750 milliliter beer. Look at the carbonation there. Now we actually had what I didn't, but my friend Andros Beer Selfies today had half a pint of this in the Rock Cafe, which is 6 minutes away from the Tynt Meadow Brewery. Wow, I poured that a bit hard, really. Look at that. And so it was on keg, and it poured with a very, very thin head. Whereas this, now I wish I had my it smells beautiful. My cap, because I don't want as that sat there any spoiling. The cork just pops back in there a little bit. I don't want any spoiling going on with this. Don't want any air getting in that. There we go. I'll stick that on there. Right. So yeah, it poured with a very thin head, and that has not got a thin head at all. That is looking totally different out of the bottle, and I think this is bottle conditioned as well. I think it is. I'm sure it's bottle conditioned. I can't really read what's on there, but I think it's bottle conditioned. But it certainly didn't look like that. And this is at a nice temperature. So I've got back from in the car. It was in the boot of the car. I've come back. I've popped it in the fridge. It's been in the fridge for about half an hour. That's all. It's got a very slight sort of chill to it. Very slightly chilled. It's a beautiful. Look at that. Look at them beautiful sparkling red notes coming through there. Absolute. That's like Christmas decorations, isn't it? Right there. Look at that. Looks beautiful. So yeah, the actual conditioning on that beer, as that goes round there, that foam goes round there, looks beautiful. So now I smelt the beer that came on the keg, and it didn't have big aromas. Whereas that has got a really nice, sort of almost a Belgium-y yeasty aroma you get from a Belgium Trappist beer. Not overpowering. Smells very inviting, very sweet. Right. Okay, so tasting notes then. Sweet caramel, toasted malt with a hint of peat. Cheers, everybody. Cheers to Tynt Meadow and Latap and Zubek. I think it's Zerbeck. Oh, crikey. Get it right, Speno. Seriously, I'm like, this is a pure, almost like just a little bit overexcited video. I can't quite get my words out. Anyway, cheers, everybody. So, first of all, warming. I've not long had my dinner as well. I've not long had my dinner, and I specifically didn't want to have a dinner that was going to influence the flavour. And what I've done is I've got me, it's on this, I've probably put it down somewhere. I've had some really good gulps of tonic water to really reset my mouth. First impressions on that, oh my word, what a lingering, beautiful. The first impression on that, the mouthfeel on that was absolutely, it was almost like the beer turned into a feathery pillow in my mouth. This has got, as I poured this in, you've seen the carbonation in there froth up very quickly. If you imagine when I'm tasting this beer now, when I'm putting this beer in my mouth and I'm swirling it around my mouth, it's like I'm pouring the beer into my mouth. It literally, it doesn't like overpower you. It doesn't fill it. It literally turns, the carbonation from this beer absolutely ignites in your mouth. And it turns into pure, pillowy, foamy, natural carbonation in my mouth. Please excuse me, my nose. I've not got a cough or anything, but my nose is itching. It's itching like I want to stick my finger up it and itch it. So yeah, the first thing, carbonation is absolutely fantastic. The conditioning is absolutely incredible. So when it says the peat, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm expecting from peat. There is a very, very subtle, probably bitterness that I'm getting from that. I wouldn't really know what that tastes like, to be quite honest with you. I've never actually ate peat, but I know that I have had a peated whiskey, because when I did a whiskey tour, part of the food tour that I went on, a food which was paired with drinks as well all the way through. When I went to Scotland, we went to a whiskey place, and basically there was actually peat in a little, almost like an ashtray, with a lighter and matches, and you could literally light it and smoke the peat and smell the aromas, and that sort of like complemented the whiskey you were drinking, the smoked whiskey. I've had smoked beer, and I've never had a peated smoked beer, but I sort of feel that like they've probably added some sort of that, I don't know, smokiness to it, but it's not smoky at all. But as I'm breathing it in while it's in my mouth, I'm getting what seems to be a different type of flavour that I've not, or an aroma I've not had. So that could be the peat. Now, as far as the caramel, so caramel and toasted malt, definitely a toasty, roasty, toasty malt in there, but not like a stouty. I was speaking to Andros today, and I said it's not an imperial stout, is it? I don't even know why I called it stout. It's not nothing to do with stout. I think it's because, I don't know. It's really bamboozled me today, this beer has. It's absolutely, really bamboozled me. Now, I was going to save some of this for Janie, and I will do. But I actually don't think this will be Mrs. Speno's cup of tea, because it's not like a pastry type of sweet. This is a proper Belgium-y, yeasty type of Trappist sort of beer, but it's not all Belgium-y yeast flavours. It's not as strong in the yeast flavours as what you get from a Belgian beer. When you open a Belgian beer, you really do get the you can tell it's a Belgian beer, can't you? Over a German beer. If you have a German beer, you have a Belgian beer, just simply by the opening the bottle, whatever it is, and smelling and drinking the beer, I think you can almost tell the difference because of the yeast and that. So this has got that Belgian type of yeast vibe to it, but it is, like I've said, this isn't a review. This is going to be, however long this video is, I couldn't care less. You can watch it, you can fast forward it, you can tell me I waffle on too much. I don't care. I am having this experience with you guys of this beer and encouraging you to just look and see what I'm seeing, see what I'm experiencing, and don't be put off by cost. The flavours are developing more as I drink this. This glass alone is £7.50, which I don't think for a Trappist breweries, there's some of the sweetness hitting me now while I'm not thinking about it. For a Trappist breweries glass with Tynt meadow on it, £7.50 for me, I think is a bargain. So what's that make that? £17.50, 18, 9, 21, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, £17.50. I had to do the finger count then. So in actual fact, the beer itself from the brewery is £17.50. Now, that's getting it from there. So if you ordered it from online now, where I found it for £14, you would have to pay delivery unless you bought more and more and more beer. So for the first release, and it's come out today on the 15th of November, for me personally, £25 for a bottle of beer in a glass makes you gulp a little bit. It really does. But when I consider when I think it through and I think about what I'm actually drinking here, what I'm actually experiencing, what I've actually got in my hand, and what I'm actually watching around that glass, I can't quite get my head around that creamy, pillowy. When you swirl this round, it's really difficult to tell you. It looks like an espresso coffee, and the head, as I'm swirling that round like that, the actual conditioning is making swirls. I'm going to pick the camera up to show you, right? And I won't. I'm not going to edit this out. Look. So when I'm swirling that round, you have to excuse the bar. You can see. Look at that head. You can see where I've swirled it round, and it looks like I have real. And I've spoke about this before. I have really good quality coffee beans in my coffee machine. I love coffee, so I don't want to buy crap coffee. I want to have good coffee. If I think it's good, it's good. Somebody else might think it's too strong. I don't care. It's what I want. It's what me and Jenny want. This reminds me of when I do a really, really great espresso, the head in that. But it's not got an espresso coffee taste, of course, but I'm just saying about how the head looks. It's that really coffee type off-white head. So I'm just literally throwing that down my neck now because that gives me more of the malts. The caramel is coming through slowly. The toasty malts are really there. That peatiness I think I'm getting, but I wouldn't know how to describe it. It's just a little bit of a dryness, a little bit of what I just remember, the peat in my hand when I had it with that whiskey, and when I lit it and smoked it and you smelt it. It just gives it that little bit of probably extra toastiness. The sweet caramel is subtle. It's all really well balanced. It's just so well balanced. It has got some hop spice in there. It has got some spiciness in there. The more you think about the more you drink this, the more you just get in it. And I wanted to read it up on it. I didn't want to be here guessing. I wanted to be able to know what is expected of this beer, and then for me to say where I'm getting it. And I think the actual caramel part of it comes after it's settled, after you've not had a sip of it for a while. So once you've sort of left the beer alone now, and you've just sort of let it settle in, I can feel it going down here. You do get a lingering sweetness from it, a lingering, sort of like that. Yeah, the caramel. I'm not even going to say that I've got loads of caramel, but because it's so well put together, so well blended, the flavors are all in there, and it's like one of those beers that, I think when a beer is brewed exceptionally good, it's really difficult to pick out all the individual flavors. It's simply like. It's nothing like what I'm going to say now, but basically to put it into a perspective is, if I was to put a number of fruits on this bar and give you the fruits to taste an individual, you would taste the individual fruit. If I was to put them in a blender and blend them up, unless there was something really specific in flavors like a banana, say for instance, I could put 20 different fruits in a blender and blend them all up, and you would drink it as one, and all the tastes would be in there, but you wouldn't pick them out individually. Do you sort of see where? I hope that makes sense. So this is I always find that a beer that's really well balanced, even though I've read what it says it's doing, it's so well balanced. It's just a full-on beautiful amalgamation is that the right word, of flavors all wrapped up in a well balanced, absolutely beautiful Dubbel beer, or Dubbel beer. The conditioning of the beer just never stops giving, does it? Look, it never stops. It literally is like creamy. Look, I mean, honestly, seriously, I have had somebody comment on my Guinness video saying so much waffle, I didn't learn a thing. sorry. You know what I mean? It's like I've had hundreds of comments saying brilliant, but like I don't care. I honestly don't care. Here I am, Speno waffle. I'm sorry, but like it's you're just watching me like enjoy this beer, and it's like almost like walking out the end of a football match 2 minutes before it finishes, and they score. Because 2 minutes before this finishes, I might just have something different to say, something a little bit more within the flavours that just makes you want to go and try this wonderful beer. First thing I did with this glass was a very small amount of regeneration powder in a very, very hot water. Stirred it all up, left it for about half an hour, swirled it round, rinsed it out to make sure the glass was chemically sort of really nice and beer clean. And the beer then is allowed to be what it is. It's allowed to be what it be. Now, took me about 40 minutes to get to Tynt Meadow. Tynt Meadow Brewery. It's getting better and better as it warms up, right? And it's worth it. It's a lovely place. If the sun this has been the first day it's been raining. It's been bleming raining today. I've been longing to go over here for this day for when this beer was out, and I thought might be able to go and go for a walk round and everything else, but bleming raining. But that didn't matter. It didn't take anything away from it because the reason I went there was to get the beer, and they've got the new shop. You can actually smell the fresh paint in there. They've got all the different beers in there, merchandise and things like that. It's a really nice place. The flavours are building and building and building and building. Now, says to Andros, I'm so glad this is in a 750 milliliter bottle, because if it wasn't, I'd probably be ran out now with that pour. And I get to the end of the 500 milliliter and I've been thinking like, ugh, I'm just starting to learn this beer. I'm just starting to experience different flavours with this beer. I'm just starting to feel the beer fill my belly and warm me up. It's a 7.4% beer. I've got beers in here that are like 10, 11%, 14% that haven't warmed me up like what this does. Because a lot of them beers are hop forward or they're an imperial stout. So there's like so much like chocolate flavour or roasted malt flavour in there that it sort of almost like masks if it's a good one, it'll mask the alcohol. Whereas I'm getting the strength from this beer within the malts. And I like that about a strong beer. I never ever look at beers at 7.4% these days as being a strong beer until I have something like this. And then you realise that the strength is within the taste of the malts that has brewed this beer. I simply can't get over I just cannot get over the fantastic conditioning of this beer. That's one of the best experiences of a beer. I always think to myself, like, obviously taste is the most important thing, but appearance. You drink beer with your eyes as well as your mouth. I just can't stop swirling it round. I can't. It's a wonderful conditioned beer. It's not a thick mouthfeel. It's a full-bodied mouthfeel. But it's not thick. It's smooth. It's delicate. It's silky. But when you swill it in your mouth and you get that carbonation ignites in your mouth. It is an experience, an absolute experience. Now, at this stage of not the review, at this stage of the experience, is where I'm going to knock them out with a glass. The caramel is coming through now, but it's coming through to me as like a part of the sort of like the where it says the toasted malt is part of that. So the toasted malt that I've really managed to get, and possibly that peat and the spiciness and all that, that's all there now. I've got that. I've got it. It's there. So I'm starting to sort of like get used to that now. But now what I'm experiencing is the other flavour. There's more sweeter side of this beer. And that's starting to linger and start to build. And it's like a toasted caramel. It is. So it's a blend of the caramel sort of malts and the toasty malts now that are just blending together. But I'm getting used to the toasty side of it, and I'm starting to pick up on the really sweeter side. It is, without a doubt, a fantastic, absolutely fantastic beer. I'm pouring it in again to let you see just how the condition builds, how the beer builds. Look how it builds. It's phenomenal. Whew, how much do I say for Janie? Because I'm not sure whether she's going to like this or not. It's not going to be her bag, so I probably need to drink it to myself. I can't get over the. It almost looks like. I tell you what, it looks like. It almost looks like a nitro stout. Like that head looks like a blimmin' creamy nitro stout. Honestly, I'll show you again now. Look, now I've put it a bit harder. Look at that. Look at it. It's like, it's crazy. It's literally, that is the most naturalist of carbonation. You see, if you've stopped watching now, you're missing out on this bit. This is the exciting bit. Oh my God. This is like, this is the most natural beer I think I've ever tried. I always talk about, I get other beer reviewers say to me, or people in the know, like in the breweries and things, all say there's the natural carbonation, don't be fooled by it, but CO2 is put in these beers. But I honestly and truly believe that this has got no added carbonation to it. It's all come naturally. This is like it's had a secondary fermentation. It's like it's been just conditioned like over something like almost like probably a honey taste that's coming through now. That could be part of the caramel there. It's like the sweetness is starting to, the sweet taste is starting to build. There's almost like a honeyness there as well. And this is simply why you need this amount of beer to experience it. So I'm gonna pour a little bit into a little glass for Janie. I've got to be careful that I don't want to basically ruin the beer by pouring it into a glass that's not been clean. I want to make sure that I tell you what, I've got to be a bit careful because if it's bottle conditioned, which I think it is, oh my God, I don't want to put all the yeast in Janie's little bit. Crikey, she'll get the best bit. So what have I just put in there? So this is in my Everrise glass. I think this is clean as well. This will be clean. So is that got more? Oh no, I think it's I think because the beer has been like rattling around in the car for a bit. It might have not had time in the fridge to settle down enough. Oh, I'm disappointed this is coming to an end. The biggest problem with a beer like this is when you finish it I've got two of these now. Chanel over at Market Harborough. It's really funny because like I was talking about this, I think last night in my drunken stupor down here at the Spencer Arms, and Chanel messaged me from Harbour Stores, and he says to me, "I've got some of that in. I've got some of it in." And I thought, well, I've just mentioned that I'm going over to go and get some, but he's got some of it in. So I would imagine he probably had the bottles in for around about the 14 or 15 quid. And let me tell you now, I am going to go over there. So the reason I bought two of these is because I wanted one to drink now, and I wanted one to keep. I'm not sure whether there'd even be a best before on this. I really don't. This beer will be good forever. You could open this beer, you could find this beer 100 years later and open it, and I still think it'd be good. It's corked and caged. It's not going to lose anything. A mate of mine says to me, like, well, don't the cork leak, like the carbonation leak through the cork? No, I don't think it does. If there's any difference, tell me. This will prove if you watch till the end. But I don't think cork lets anything out. And the reason the cage is on there, it's either sometimes it's decorative, but then other times it truly is there to stop the cork popping itself off because of the carbonation within the beer. This has got some absolutely. Honestly, I know I waffle on. I know this is nearly a 40-minute video. I really don't care. I honestly don't care because, like, I watch videos and I play it in twice the speed because then I can still watch it and it don't take as long. But I wanted to not review this beer. I wanted to experience this beer with you. And I want you salivating over this beer. I'm very proud of this brewery. We have got here in the UK, and literally like 40 minutes down the road from where we are, a Trappist brewery. It has to have this. It has, look, authentic Trappist product. We've got a Trappist brewery here in the UK. I know the other two breweries, I think, are in the Netherlands. But we have a Trappist brewery here in the UK. How blimmin' fantastic is that? I mean, like, send a cheer out for that. I don't want this to end. I might even open the other bottle and then go over to Chanel and get some more. Yeah, the caramel, the sweet side, the caramel side's coming out now. But it isn't caramel as... It's not caramelly. It is roasty. It's toasty, roasty sort of. There's a bit of roastiness in there as well. But it is like toasty malts. It tastes like there's some roasted malts in there through the bitterness. But I think that's the spice as well. It's just so well blended. You don't know what's coming from where. You get the spice, but it could be the roastiness. It's spicy, it's roasty, it's sweet, it's malty. You know what I mean when I talk about malty? You know, when somebody, remember the old oh god, my dad used to have cod liver oil and malt, and he used to turn it in a spoon, and it was the malt, like the dark brown malt, and the cod liver oil, not so nice, but the malt. So that's what, you know what I mean? That's what you get in that malty. It's a pure, lovely, beautiful malty beer with a really spicy hop finish. It's magnificent. It is a mag. I mean, it gets a hashtag Speno Waffle 10 out of 10 all day long. But this is never going to be, this was never a beer review. This was an experience. This was me experiencing the beer. And also as well, I do this YouTube channel because I enjoy it. It's therapy. It's good. It makes me smile. If someone puts a negative comment, like, it never hits me here. Never. You can't offend me. You can put whatever you want. Right, I've been in the building trade all my life. It just makes me laugh when someone puts a negative comment because I don't earn no money. I don't get nothing from it. I do it because I love to do it, and I enjoy being down here waffling on to you guys. And if 1,000 people tell me I'm an idiot and one person says I enjoyed that, that's good enough for me. And I think Rob, I'm sure it's Rob today. I hope it's right. Oh, I've got a picture of him. Look, I tell you what, I had a picture with him because I didn't want to forget. He came over to me today. Look, there he is. So like, oh God, I look 150 years old compared to that boy. He actually made a point. He see me with a Spencer Arms top on. He came over to me and he said, "Oh, I follow you on YouTube." And my mate says to me, "You've made it." I thought, "Oh my God, I've made it. I'm actually gone out and somebody's recognised me from YouTube." That's like, wow. That's one person. That's all it takes. That one person there to just come over and say, "I'll watch your YouTube channel," basically. And I says to him, "I'm doing this Trappist beer tonight. So if you're watching," I'm sure it was Rob. I asked him his name and I should have wrote it down. I'm sure it was Rob. Apologies if not. If you're watching, mate, nice to meet you today. And thank you so much for your support. It just takes one guy like yourself to make it all worthwhile. So, yeah, and I'll tell you somebody else who's going to be watching this, Dave, Slurpy Dave. I've got your beer to review, mate. Oh, God, that. That. Oh. The first bit of the beer was of this video was just getting into the beer. The middle part was starting to really discover the beer and what it's all about. The last part of it was just absolute sex with the beer. Seriously, I am in love with that beer. I know it's expensive. I really do know it's expensive. But do you know what? Like, I am going to go and get a few more of these because they're not going to hang around. They're only going to be brewed a certain amount. And if you don't get it, you're never going to get it. Think about this. And thank you for anybody that's still watching now. This is the goal when you leave the stadium. This beer has had 3 of the 10 Trappist breweries come together to make this beer. So, a little bit more. A third of the whole Trappist breweries in the world have joined forces to make this and to celebrate the 3 rules of Trappist brewing. They've called it 3 rules to celebrate what has to go into a beer. So 3 breweries out of the 10 coming together to brew a beer in celebration to what Trappist beer is all about. I have been Speno. This has been a #Speno waffle. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and enjoy good beer. Just, here's the thing, right? I like Guinness. But I spent about £25 on 4 pints of Guinness the other day. Don't get me wrong, I love Guinness. If you know me, you know I love Guinness. But £25 nearly on 4 pints of Guinness. That cost me £25 for that and a glass. And as much as I love Guinness, that was an experience. Wow. Cheers, everybody. Take care of yourself, and please keep supporting the channel. I really love it because, it just brings a smile to me. And if it brings a smile to you, I've done my job. I've been Speno, and you've been the Speno Waffle audience. Take care of yourself. Much love. Cheers.